Hello, everybody, and welcome to Raising Vibrations. And you're with Simon today. And I'm excited to be doing the next month's forecast for everyone. And just basically going to be sharing some of my thoughts and perspective on the upcoming transits and just giving us a little bit more heads up in terms of what to look out for, how to integrate, and just basically navigate the energy that's coming our way in a way that's less bumpy than what it would be if we were a little bit more unconscious to it. Now, before I go ahead and jump into that, there's a couple of things that I just want to share quickly. Firstly, in the comments below, I really would like it for you to share a little bit about how your last month was, okay? And just kind of, I'm always excited to read the types of experiences that you might have had during your transit. And just an overall, if you feel like if you would like to share, it's not something you have to absolutely do, but I'm always excited to just hear what you guys have to say in terms of your own experience, and maybe it gives a sense of objectivity around how your own transits were occurring. Okay. Another thing that I wanted to talk about was after doing the first series of forecasts, a lot of souls wrote to me, a lot of people wrote to me, whether in the comments or private email, etc., just asking, should I watch the rising sign? Now, I don't suggest that. I would say that would also complicate things as well. So if you're really sensitive to your psyche and you really are aware of the dynamics that are taking place for you, then watching your rising sign, so in my case, it's Aquarius, I would watch Aquarius and I would watch Scorpio, right? Sun sign Scorpio, rising sign Aquarius. And then finally, I just wanted to let everybody know on the 8th of January 2017, yes, that is the new year for us who are following the Gregorian calendar, I'm having a webinar, okay? And in the description below is a link to book your place. And the webinar is basically a forecast for the year ahead. And I'll be hosting that for anybody that wishes to join. And just basically talking about the year ahead, looking at the types of dynamics that are going to be taking place, certain transits, etc. And there'll be a questions and answers after that as well. So I'm really excited to be holding that space, and I'm going to put a lot of effort into creating a very nice visual experience for you. So if you want to experience that, like I said, in the description below is a link, and you can go ahead and book your place, okay? All right, everyone. So with that being said, let's jump straight into our sun sign videos and have fun. Hello, my Gemini friends, and welcome to your sun sign forecast for January 2017. And as always, when we're looking at this chart over here, I'm just going to share with you again, like I said, some of the themes that are taking place. So from an evolutionary perspective, Pluto is always going to be our focus point. And we've got Pluto transiting your 8th house of the astrological chart. And as you know, through the forecast we've done in the past, your 8th house Pluto transit is very much about evolving the empowerment process, okay? So for all of you sun sign and rising sign souls, the empowerment process is coming through your limitations, okay? You're definitely going through this process of emotional confrontation around what you're good at, what you're not good at, where you're disempowered, where you're not disempowered, and really looking at the underlying reality for you around what is empowerment to you. That's the big question. What is empowerment to you, and how do you answer that? How do you go about developing your skills in life to get you to where you want to be or what you want to experience? Okay, so those would be like your big questions with Pluto and how that's transiting. Now, the sun at the moment is and has been transiting your 10th house, sorry, not your 10th house, your 8th house. And this is a big deal for you because it's highlighting to not only you, but to everybody in their respective places, what is this symbolism about? So for you guys, that empowerment process is becoming more and more illuminated. Okay, so the flashlight, the sun, is now on Pluto, and we're looking at these underlying realities. We're looking at the unconscious emotional patterning that keeps you from achieving or experiencing whatever it is that you're experiencing, or looking at core attachments that, again, like I said, don't allow you to experience more of your your soul, yourself, and it can range from so many different things. It's not a specific thing. It completely depends on your own placement of your astrological chart. So we've got the sun here. That's highlighting this process for you, right? So the sun will be transiting through this period of time, and Mercury is also here as well. Mercury's retrograde. So a lot of the story for you has been around Mercury transiting your 7th house. So it's been in relationships. You've really been looking at the dynamic of relationships and been relating to people and finding yourself connecting to souls in a way where what type of relationships do you want to be in? What type of relationships do you feel comfortable with? And with Saturn transiting that 7th house, of course, these questions are going to come up for you. Now, as I said before in the previous forecast as well, with the sun transiting your 7th house and then through the month of December, 21st of December up until the 21st of, or the 19th of January, this process of connecting to the friends, to these new social acquaintances, to anybody that has come into your life you've been really open to, like you're beginning to open up with the trust. Okay, so that's another thing that the sun has also been playing out here, is how are you opening up and how you're trusting and how you're creating deep emotional bonds. Okay, now with Mercury in Capricorn in the 8th house, these questions have been coming up around this for you. Okay, and you would have found yourself really connected to somebody very close to you. Again, emotional bonding is now the story. But you can see over here as well that on the 4th of January 2017, as you can see over there, Mercury is in Sagittarius, okay? And it will as it transits back into Sag, it moves back into your 7th house. And what this is going to do for you is going to kind of bring back, again, it's going to go from here you're dealing with emotional bonding and connection and trust and intimacy and limitations and boundaries. And now you're going to come back into the space of more lightheartedness and saying, okay, what types of social friendships do I want to have? And it's just kind of like pulling up some of the experiences that you've had over the last 3 months that just need a review. Okay, so you'll notice that story will be coming up for you for this month. And it won't be for long because, of course, Mercury goes direct on the 8th. Now, alongside this process, can you see there, Venus is now transited back into Pisces, or is now in Pisces. So for you, it's been in your 9th house. So you've been very much about learning. You've been very much about like absorbing lots and lots of information, okay? Exploring, expanding, etc. And now on the 4th of Jan, we're going to move into Pisces, and that's your 10th house. And if you look, you've got the South Node there, you've got Neptune, you've got Mars, you've got Chiron over there. So there's been a lot of activity around a sense of personality, a sense of life direction, a sense of meaning, a sense of purpose, but because the South Node there and all of those planets are there, it's about letting go of a self-identity that you once had and really getting connected to a more emotional part of you. Like, who are you? Where are you coming from? What type of emotional identity are you now connected to? So you would have found moving home. This would have been something that would have been part of your story for the last year and a half, I would say, at least. With Neptune transiting the 10th house, you found yourself really, really dissolving an outdated definition. Now, with Venus in Pisces and going to be transiting this stuff, Venus is just going to be kind of like revisiting the story again, but in a way where the new sense of vision, the new perspective, the new truth, the new sense of openness that you've discovered over the last month when Venus has been in your 9th house, well, that would have then, or let me put it to you this way, Venus has been in Aquarius, that would have been then your process of reshifting and re-establishing a new self-identity, okay? And that self-identity then plays in with Mercury and Saturn's 7th house transit of what type of friends do you want to belong to, who do you feel that you would like to communicate with and socialize with, and so on and so forth, right? Who do you want to connect to? Now, on the 8th of January, Mercury goes direct, which is a great thing, okay? And there you can see on the chart over there, Mercury goes direct. You can see this interesting square that's taking place between Uranus, the sun, and also this Jupiter. Jupiter is situated in your 5th house, right? There's in Scorpio, Jupiter's in Libra. So Jupiter being in Libra, that's the Gemini's 5th house. And so that symbolizes the creative need to just express, to find one sense of special purpose, special destiny, as you know, right? That square between the Sun and Pluto and Uranus in the 11th house is, okay, so what type of associations do you want to belong to that give you that sense of special purpose? Like, what are you doing that is encouraging you to find that special gift? And so those will be the questions I think are very important for you this month, as these transits begin to ask you these deeper questions, like where do you belong, what types of friends do you want to associate yourself with, etc. Or let me put it to the side, more about what social environments and value settings do you want to be a part of. Now, I think with Venus transiting your 10th house, or in Pisces, I feel like this is going to be an opportunity for you to really, really get stuck in some positive, like friends groups where you're really focused, you've got a sense of purpose, and it's about really making the shift. Okay, this is a time for shifting into that direction. And of course, on the 8th of January as well, the Sun will be completely conjunct Pluto, and it will also be in this new phase relationship. So there's an entirely new evolutionary cycle going on with that Mars-Pluto, sorry, not that Mars-Pluto, but the Sun and Pluto, okay? Now, on the 8th of January as well, as you said, as I mentioned to you guys, there's that forecast for the year 2017, and I'll be going deeper into that process. So if you're interested in that, in the description below is the link to check that out, all right? Now, on the 12th of Jan, we've got a full moon, and that's happening in Cancer. Right now, the software I'm using at this stage doesn't actually allow me to have that full moon completely. So on the 12th of Jan, there's the full moon. The moon opposes the Sun, 22 degrees. Can you see there? And that's going to be landing in your 2nd and 8th house. So I wouldn't be surprised if you find yourself being in a situation of self-reliance. This is an opportunity for you to really get stuck into what are your values. And as you can see with this full moon, it is very, very intense. You've got Uranus 20 degrees, the moon 20 degrees, Jupiter 22 degrees, and the Sun 22 degrees. So look at that square that's taking place. Oof. And that's all in cardinal energy. So expect the shift to take place on the 12th of January. From the 12th of January onwards, it's go, 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 go time for us. And I think with Venus moving over the South Node and also Venus connecting to Neptune for you, this is all going to be about what is purposeful, what is meaningful, where do I belong, what are my limitations, what are my dreams, what are my aspirations, and how do I get there on my own accord, okay? Now, Mercury also enters Capricorn on the 12th as well. There it is. And on the 19th of January, we've got the Sun entering Aquarius. And so instead of the Sun being in your 8th house now, it's now transiting your 9th in Aquarius there. And so that's going to bring you deep exploration around what is my vision, what is my learning, what do I want to do with my life, and what philosophy do I use to support that process, which of course is really just going to be about an illumination of Venus's transit in Aquarius that happened for you in December. So whatever happened in December, January, the end of January is going to be this illumination around this process, right? You're going to find yourself being more awakened to the philosophies and truths and belief systems and cosmologies that you've discovered in December. And so the Sun's transit from the 20th of Jan to the 20th of February is really, really going to be about that opening and exploring process, okay? So that's really, really amazing to look out for, to be honest. And then finally, on the 27th and 28th, we've got a new moon happening on the 8th degrees of Aquarius. That's all taking place for us there. New moon in Aquarius, so that's going to be a completely new vision, right? When I say vision, Sag is all about vision, Sag. It's all about higher learning. And you're going to find yourself really making sense of what December was for you. I feel like every single person is going to actually have that process. And then finally, Mars enters Aries. And what's interesting about that dynamic is that as Mars enters Aries, it transits your 11th house. And this is going to begin the cycle of, okay, so what group do I belong to, right? What friendships do I exist with? So the questions for you from the 20th of January onwards are, okay, so what is my philosophy and how do I find like-minded people that kind of support that process? You're definitely going to be feeling those energies take place there. So exciting times. Mars enters Aries, we have a new moon, and also Mercury will be making a conjunction to Pluto. And so that's all going to be rewriting. Liberation is happening on the 28th of Jan. All right, my friends, thank you so much for listening to me today. I really hope you appreciate it. Don't forget the 8th of January is the webinar. And have a fantastic week, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.